Hiya guys, how you doing? It's Will here, back for another fight card prediction. Beforehand, I just want to apologise. I've been ill the last few days, so my voice is a little bit off. So I apologise beforehand to say it's UFC 168 from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, where two huge rematches are taking place as Chris Weidman is facing Anderson Silva and Ronda Rousey is defending her title against Miesha Tate. First of all, I say if you think Chris Weidman's going to win this fight, give him a thumbs up. If you think Anderson Silva is going to retain his belt, get his belt back, a thumbs down for Anderson Silva. Just a few words on last week's UFC card from Sacramento. The last two fights, it was a really good card from top to bottom, but Uriah Faber, he looked unbelievable against Michael McDonald, just stifled him and then took him out when he got the choke. And then Demetrius Johnson, who saw that coming against Joseph Benavidez. So congratulations to both guys. Some convincing finishes there against hard guys. So congratulations to them. We'll see big things from them in 2014. As I say, we're at UFC 168 here from Las Vegas. We're going to get straight into it, and I'll give you some predictions. To start off the night, we're in the featherweight division. We've got Robbie Peralta against Estevan Payan. I'm looking forward to the first few fights in this card because I think we're going to have a few stand-up wars. Robbie Peralta, I think they're both coming back off losses. He lost to Akira Corassani and Payan lost to Jeremy Stevens. So I'm expecting both guys to stand up here. Peralta, he's got some knockout power, as has Payan. Peralta, he knocked out Jason Young, I remember. I think it was his first fight in the UFC, and Payan, I think it's his second fight after facing a very tough fight in Jeremy Stevens' first time in the UFC. Tough fight to pick, but I think I'm going to go with Robbie Peralta. I think he can get a decision out of this. I don't think he'll knock him out, but I think he will win via decision. So Robbie Peralta by decision. Next up is a fight I'm really looking forward to. It's William Macario against Bobby Voelker. Both these guys like to stand and bang. If it goes to the ground, I think Patalino will have the advantage. Voelker, he's coming back off a couple of losses. It's a big fight for him to stay in the UFC, to be fair. He got knocked out last time by a vicious knockout by Robbie Lawler. William Macario, he's coming back off losing in tough Brazil finale to Leandro Santos. I like Patalino. I think he's a very, very aggressive guy. He was winning that fight the first round. Went the second round and he just got dominated and he got taken out with Santos' superior ground skills. I'm actually going to go with Patalino here. I think he's going to win, and I think he can possibly stop Bobby Voelker. So I'm actually going to go first round TKO for William Macario. Next up, we go into the welterweight division. Yet again, we've got John Howard against Siyar Bahadurzada. Siyar, I've never been the biggest fan of his. Talks so much shit, but he's a really good fighter on his feet and he's very dangerous. He throws uppercuts like he did against Paulo Thiago. He's coming back off a loss, his first one in the UFC against when he lost to Dong Hyun Kim. John Howard, this is his second stint in the UFC. A big guy. He likes to throw bombs, so this fight could be very, very exciting. He came back to the UFC and he was actually in the middleweight division. Came back and faced Uriah Hall, who's also fighting in this card, and pretty much dominated Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall's just got to grow a set of balls and go out there and try and finish people, because he's got the skills very much so to do it. But he's back down to the welterweight division here. I like this fight. I think this could be a fight of the night contender. Both guys with power, they can both knock each other out, I think. But I like John Howard in this fight. I think he might catch Siyar with something. If he gets him to the ground, I think he might stifle him a little bit. Siyar has submissions to his name, but nothing that really jumps out. So I'm going to go with John Howard via unanimous decision. Featherweight division, we've got Dennis Siver against Manvel, the Anvil Gamburyan. Big fan of Gamburyan, have been for many years. Just a gritty, tough guy. Dennis Siver, he's got a very difficult opponent here. Siver, who he came into the UFC, he was knocking people out with spinning back kicks and stuff. He's moved down to the featherweight division. It's been kind of a bit up and down. Wins over Diego Nunes and Nam Phan. He lost last time out. He got knocked out by Cub Swanson, who's on a tear in the featherweight division at the minute. So nothing to really nothing to scare him off the division. He can give a lot of people a lot of tough fights in the featherweight division. He's brutal on his feet. He's got these spinning kicks. He's very stocky. He can knock people out. But I don't think he's going to do it with Gamburyan here. Gamburyan's a veteran of the sport. He's been around for years. He's been in the UFC, was in the WEC. He doesn't really knock people out. He has in the past. I think he knocked maybe Mike Browne out back in the day. But he's coming off 2 wins in a row over Michihiro Amagawa, and he got a decision against Cole Miller, which people say maybe he shouldn't deserve, but I'm not a big Cole Miller fan, so I was giving it to Gamburyan. This fight, I don't think Siver will stop Gamburyan, but I think he will win via decision. I would like Gamburyan to win, but I think Dennis Siver will win by unanimous decision. Next up, we have Gleison Tibau against Michael Johnson, the classic kind of wrestler against striker here in the lightweight division. Tibau's been around for years, and he's fought all the best in the division, and he's coming off a really good win over Jamie Varner at UFC 164 with a win against John Cholish. Before that, I couldn't even tell you how many fights he's been in the UFC, but he's gone all the way back to UFC 65 against Nick Diaz, so he's been around for a long time, 7-8 years I think, round about the UFC. So and he's a very aggressive striker. Hasn't really got that much knockout power, but once he gets you to the ground, that's where his skill set shines. He stifles you, he beats the crap out of you, doesn't give you any room to move. And we saw with Michael Johnson in a few fights before that when he goes to the ground, he's kind of like a fish out of water. Reza Madadi submitted him in Sweden earlier in the year. He's coming off a big win himself, to be fair. He kind of kept the fight standing against Joe Lozon and got the win there. Before that with Miles Jury, who did the exact same what Madari did, took him to the ground and just kind of dominated him. I like Gleison Tibau. I think he'll get him to the ground if he stays away from the crisp striking of Michael Johnson. So I'm going to go Gleison Tibau by unanimous decision again. Next up we have Chris Leben against Uriah Hall. Chris Leben, brawler, great guy to watch fight. I think his time's past him now. I think this is going to be the last time we see him in the UFC. Uriah Hall is, we've seen him on Tough, a beast. He's got the big knockouts. If he gets a little bit of meanness into him, somebody pisses him off, then we'll see the true Uriah Hall, who can be a very much, he can be someone to look out for in the middleweight division. I think Chris Leben's going to get knocked out in this fight, and it's going to be the last time we see him in there. So I'm going to go Uriah Hall by second round knockout, but never ever rule out Chris Leben, because we've seen it before against Terry Martin. He was hurt and he came back and he knocked him out, and he's just a guy that you never ever count out. But I think this time it's a little bit too much for him. So Uriah Hall by knockout in the second round. Move on to the main card, and I'm pumped for this fight. Dustin Poirier against Diego Brandao. Dustin Poirier, if you have never met Dustin Poirier, try and meet the guy. He's one of the nicest guys ever. I met him in Manchester 4 or 5 times along with his wife, who's really nice as well. I spoke to him about his move to American Top Team, and he was telling me how much he's improved and the certain aspects that he's improved. Just a great guy, so and I'm a huge fan of his. Expecting a lot from him in this fight here. I think he's maybe coming back off a win off of Eric Koch. I remember at UFC 164 where he was deep in a triangle, Koch having the triangle, and he was nearly out, and he managed to get out, and he kind of dominated from there for a unanimous decision victory. He's going to be a contender in this division. He lost to Cub Swanson, a very close fight back in London in February, and he's against Diego Brandao here, who I think he's going to run through Diego Brandao. Brandao is an Ultimate Fighter winner. He last fought Daniel Pineda back in August in Boston with wins over Gambino and Garza before that. I don't think he's got the cardio to stay with Dustin Poirier here. I think he'll get through a round, and then, as I say, his cardio will disappear, and we won't see the same Diego Brandao we see in the first round. And I like Dustin Poirier to finish him. I think he could take him to the ground, he could pound him out, he maybe even submit him. So I'm going to go Dustin Poirier by a second round finish. TKO in the second. Next up, we've got Jim Milligan's Fabricio Camoes. Camoes' first fight in about a year and a half. I think the last time was against Melvin Gillard last July. He's got a very tough fight here in Jim Miller, who's fighting for the first time, I believe, since he's lost to Pat Healy, which was turned to a no contest, of course, because Pat Healy decided to take stuff and get $100,000 taken away from him as well. So it was a no contest with a win over Joe Lozon, UFC 155 last year, which was just one of the fights of the year. I like Jim Miller here. I think he's got too much for Camoes wherever it goes, but I like Jim Miller by knockout in the first round. Next up, huge fight in the heavyweight division. We've got Josh Barnett against Travis Browne. Josh Barnett looked fantastic against Frank Mir last time out, stopped him in Milwaukee with knees to the body, punches, put Mir down. Mir didn't seem that hurt, but I think it was a good stoppage because Josh Barnett was never going to stop. Travis Browne, he's coming back after that amazing knockout of Alistair Overeem. He was getting pummeled, he was getting hit with liver shots from knees from Overeem. Kind of read the storm. You could hear the noises that were coming out when he was getting hit. Kept coming forward, landing shots, then he threw a front kick and then finished him with punches for an amazing finish. Before that, he had wins over Gonzaga, Chad Griggs, Rob Broughton, Stefan Struve, with a loss in there to Bigfoot Silva. Very tough fight to call here. I think I'm going to go Josh Barnett. I think his experience, he's going to get him to the ground, he's going to hurt him down there, if he can keep him down there, because Browne's a huge guy. And I think the winner of this may go on to face Fabricio Verdum maybe, or maybe Cigano. So we have to see. I'm going to go Josh Barnett by unanimous decision. I think it's going to be a really good fight though. Rematch time. This is going to be insane, I think. Ronda Rousey against Miesha Tate. We all saw how the first fight went. Ronda Rousey got in Miesha Tate's head and it totally turned the fight. Tate came out, was very aggressive, got too aggressive, I think, got into the clinch. And once you get into the clinch with Ronda Rousey, you're asking for trouble, where she got flipped onto her back. And from there, it was just Ronda Rousey trying to get the arm bar. Eventually succeeded. Miesha Tate did not tap out, and she had her arm snapped by Ronda Rousey. So she was showing some big balls by not tapping. Maybe not the best thing to do for your career. But yeah, I think this fight's going to be great. We saw the Ultimate Fighter this year. They don't like each other, and that makes for great matchups. Ronda Rousey, we haven't seen much on her feet. I think she's ever improving on her feet. But Miesha Tate, I think I'm going to go with Miesha Tate this time. I think she's going to take the belt off Ronda Rousey. I think if she stays disciplined and kind of stays off the ground with her, keeps it on the feet, easier said than done against a judoka like Ronda Rousey. But I'm going to go pick the upset for the last event of the year, so I'm going to go for a huge upset. I'm going to go Miesha Tate. I think she's going to TKO Ronda Rousey in the 4th round. How about that for a upset there? Miesha Tate, 4th round, TKO. And next up, we've got just the biggest rematch of the year after the biggest fight of the year way back in the summer. We have Chris Weidman defended his title against the former champion Anderson Silva, who held the belt for nearly 7 years, I think it was. Anderson Silva got cocky. Anderson Silva got caught with a left hook, put to sleep, and he deserved it. He was acting like a total dick. I don't like fighters like that are really, really cocky. He's did it so many times before. Damien Maia, he just drops his hand, and he shows his skills when he does that. And we've seen it against Forrest Griffin, where he was weaving punches and rolling with his shoulders and just not getting hit, and then he knocked him out. I just don't like that. I think you should always try and stay professional all the time, keep your hands up, and it's kind of come back to haunt him. Whether he wants this fight or not, I don't think he is. I think he's kind of been pushed into it. He says he wanted this fight. He says, I'm back. I don't believe this. I think Dana White's pushed him into this because he knew it was big money. Chris Weidman was kind of dominating that fight a little bit. The first round, he took off Anderson Silva took him to the ground fairly easily. When I spoke to Ray Longo in Manchester, I asked what his game plan was, and it says it was pretty much identical to what Chael Sonnen was, to take him to the ground and just pound him, because he saw what happened there. But if it got to the feet, not to be scared and to throw shots, which when Anderson Silva dropped his hands and started getting really cocky and like acting like he was hurt by the punches, then eventually got caught with the left hook, which kind of put his eyes in the back of his head, went down. Weidman knocked him out. I really want Chris Weidman to win this fight, but I just don't think we're going to see the same Anderson Silva we saw the last time. I still think he'll drop his hands just as much, but I don't think he's just going to play about. I think he's going to catch Chris Weidman with something. Weidman, I think his game plan is going to be the same as the first one, is take him to the ground, and if it comes to his feet, then he'll try and hurt him up there as well. Really want Chris Weidman to win. Top guy, works with a great team in Serra Longo. Guys I really like and I've met, and they're such great people to meet and be around. But I'm going to go with Anderson Silva with a knockout, and I think it will happen in the third round of the fight. So that's my predictions there. Miesha Tate and Anderson Silva, 2 new champions at UFC 168 to round off a phenomenal year for the UFC. I just want to thank everybody for watching my videos from January till this year. It's been great putting my videos out there and getting the feedback from you guys. Again, thumbs up for Chris Weidman, thumbs down for Anderson Silva, whoever you think's going to win this fight. I'm not going to do a card for UFC Singapore, but I will have one for I think it's the Duluth card, Atlanta, for UFC Fight Night, followed by Thompson versus Henderson from Chicago for the UFC Fox card. So I want to thank everybody for watching my videos. Have a great time over Christmas and New Year. I will be back early in the new year. Come follow me on Twitter, BigBuilder7MMA. Take care, and I will speak to you all soon. Peace.